Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're zeroing in on a really interesting bit of coastline, Sheffield Beach.
Hmm,
You probably know its neighbors, Salt Rock, Ballito maybe, but Sheffield Beach is just, what, 10 minutes north of Ballito?
that's right. Yeah, it's still on the Dolphin Coast.
Exactly, and it seems to offer something, well, quite different. We've got some descriptions here that really paint a picture of why it's unique.
Yeah, they do.
So our mission really is to kind of unpack that. What makes Sheffield Beach special for someone looking for, peace, quiet, nature?
Well, it's interesting how the source material talks about it straight away.
Hmm.
It's not just a beach, it's framed as a serene coastal haven, an escape.
An escape, yeah. That definitely sets a tone, doesn't it? Different from the potentially busier places nearby.
Right. Suggests a different rhythm, maybe a closer connection to the environment itself.
And that name, Dolphin Coast, I mean, that alone creates a certain image.
It certainly does.
But location-wise, it seems pretty smart. You're close enough to Salt Rock, Ballito for, restaurants, shops, whatever.
Sure, the amenities.
But Sheffield itself promises something much quieter. What do you think creates that feeling? Is it just geography?
I suspect that's part of it. Maybe the way the coast is shaped there. The text mentions sheltered coves.
Ah,
So
yeah.
that suggests maybe smaller, more intimate beach areas rather than one huge expanse.
Hmm.
That could naturally make it feel less crowded, more secluded.
That makes sense. And those sheltered coves, that leads right into the family appeal, doesn't it?
Definitely.
The source really highlights the crystal clear rock pools, says they're full of life, even mentions sea anemones. Sounds like a kid's paradise.
Oh, absolutely. Rock pools are like these tiny little worlds, aren't they? Little trapped ecosystems.
Hmm.
And if the water's clear, like it says, kids can actually see all the interesting stuff. It's not just paddling, it's exploring. Turns a beach trip into something more.
A mini biology lesson. And
Yeah.
it's not just gentle stuff either. Sheffield Beach also gets called a top spot for fishing and diving.
Right. Incredible natural beauty is the phrase used. And yeah, fishing and diving are big mentions for this part of the KZN coast.
So what about the diving? What makes it good there? Is it deep?
Well, the interesting thing is the mention of reefs being close to the shore.
Okay.
That's a big plus. Means you don't necessarily need a boat trip to see good marine life. More accessible. These intricate reef formations probably offer lots of hiding places for fish and things.
Makes sense. And for people maybe not wanting to fully kit up for diving, snorkeling gets a mention too?
Yeah, same reason really. Clear water, marine life near the shore, around those reefs.
So you can just kind of wade in with a mask and snorkel and see interesting things.
Sounds like it. That accessibility is really appealing. Lets more people experience that underwater world without needing lots of gear or training.
Now, one of the really big draws mentioned is the wildlife, dolphins and whales,
Ah, yes, the namesake.
especially during the migration season, June to November, apparently. What makes this coast such a highway for them?
Well, the KZN coast generally is a major route for whales, like humpbacks and southern rights. They're moving between feeding down south and breeding in warmer waters,
Okay.
and dolphins. They often hang around coastal areas like this year-round, maybe looking for food. The fact that Sheffield is maybe a bit quieter, less boat traffic, might make it more attractive for them to come closer in.
And it's specifically called out as excellent for whale and dolphin watching. That's quite a statement, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, the chance to see those kinds of animals in the wild, maybe even from the beach,
Yeah.
it's a powerful draw. Creates those, unforgettable moments.
Definitely. Let's dig into this unspoiled beauty and seclusion idea. It's contrasted with places like Ballito and Umhlanga, called a best-kept secret.
Hmm.
What keeps it feeling like that? Is it just less developed?
I think that's a huge part of it.
Yeah.
The lack of, say, big hotels right on the beach, maybe,
Hmm.
and the text notes the absence of lifeguards and shark nets.
Right, which is interesting. Usually you'd think of those as essential.
Well, yes, from a safety perspective for swimming. But their absence also suggests a less managed, maybe more natural beach environment. It contributes to that feeling of being away from it all.
So it caters to someone looking for a wilder, more raw coastal experience.
Exactly. Not the highly manicured resort feel.
Yeah.
And it mentions vast expanses of sand, too. Good for just walking and thinking.
Yeah, that sense of space, not being crammed in.
Precisely. Freedom, tranquility. A more personal experience with the coast.
Okay, but what if you do want a bit more activity? Hiking gets mentioned. Along the rocks.
Yeah, hiking along the rocky coastline, that offers totally different views, right? More panoramic.
Seeing the waves crash, the reefs from above, maybe.
Exactly. You get a better sense of the whole seascape. And it mentions breathtaking views of the Indian Ocean. Plus, you might even spot dolphins or whales from up there.
Oh, right. Combining the hike with the wildlife spotting?
Yeah, it doubles your chances, potentially. And it's a more active way to engage with the place. Good for people who like to be moving.
And we touched on this, but it's worth repeating. It's close to Ballito, like 10 minutes away.
Crucial point, that balance.
So you can have your peace and quiet at Sheffield, but then pop over for dinner or shopping if you want.
Exactly. It broadens the appeal massively. Not everyone wants total isolation 2047. Having easy access to amenities makes it viable for more people, more types of trips, families, couples, whatever.
And interestingly, this growing appeal is apparently making it hot for property investment.
Ah, yes, the hidden gem effect.
People looking for holiday homes or even to live there permanently because of the beaches, the peace.
Well, it makes sense. You have the natural beauty, the lifestyle appeal, and then there's scarcity. As places like Ballito itself, or further south like Umhlanga, get more developed and expensive.
People look next door.
Exactly. They look for the next spot that has similar qualities but maybe more room to grow, potentially better value initially. The mention of luxury estates like Brettonwood suggests the top end is already moving in.
So maybe its best kept secret days are numbered.
That's often how it goes, isn't it? Popularity brings development, which can change the very character that made it popular in the first place. It's a common cycle.
Beyond the big things like snorkeling and hiking, it also mentions just, simple stuff. Picnics, beach games,
Yeah, the basics.
and calm, shallow water in some spots, good for little kids. It does sound quite versatile.
And that's key, isn't it? Having something for different ages, different moods. That encourages people to come back. Plus, mentions of nearby nature reserves and trails. It's not just the beach.
So wrapping it up, the picture we get is this hidden gem, maybe an unspoiled paradise for some,
Definitely leans into that nature lover, outdoor enthusiast angle.
but with something for most people, whether they want quiet time or, spotting whales.
The descriptions are pretty consistent on that. Natural beauty, peace, but accessible, a contrast to the more built-up areas.
And it's explicitly called one of the best beaches in the Ballito area. Clean, uncrowded, family-friendly. That's quite an endorsement.
It is. It sets it up as the choice, if those are your priorities. If you value tranquility in nature over, say, lots of beachfront cafes.
So as we finish this deep dive on Sheffield Beach, it really seems to offer this compelling mix. You get the genuine peace, the beautiful scenery,
That escape feeling.
alongside the fun stuff like rock pools, seeing dolphins. Plus, you're not totally cut off from shops and restaurants nearby. A nice balance.
It really seems to hit that sweet spot for a lot of people. Connection with nature, relatively undisturbed but still convenient. A strong option if you want a coastal retreat that isn't, miles from anywhere.
Which brings us to our final thought for you listening. Thinking about Sheffield Beach and that balance it strikes the quiet nature escape versus easy access to amenities. What's your ideal coastal experience really look like? Is it the totally untouched, quiet solitude? Or is it having everything close at hand? Or maybe, like Sheffield seems to offer, it's finding that perfect point somewhere in between. Definitely something to chew on for your next trip to the coast.